Hello everyone! In the modern world, criminal formations and gangs are still thriving. Just imagine, there's a gang that operates in multiple countries worldwide and boasts over 300,000 members. Don't change the channel, as we're about to tell you all about it and more. It's known that the gang known as Salvatrucha or MS-13 has around 10,000 members and is now one of the most dangerous and brutal criminal organizations. They operate in over 40 cities in the United States. This gang was founded within the Salvadoran immigrant community in Los Angeles in the 1980s, but their illicit operations have spread deep into the northern, eastern, and southern states of the country. They specialize in all kinds of unlawful activities: drug trafficking, murders, extortion, racketeering, and even child prostitution. The gang has even become a dominant force in their home country of El Salvador due to a significant number of deported gang members returning to their homeland. Their influence even affects El Salvador's ruling political parties. In 2012, the Obama administration officially declared MS-13 an international criminal organization. A distinguishing feature of this gang is that they commit murders using machetes and decapitate their victims. The 18th Street Gang, also known as M18, is a ruthless criminal organization founded in Los Angeles, California. It is believed to have over 65,000 members in 120 cities. They are rivals with Bloods, MS-13, and Crips. They have brutal rules like the 18-second beating by fellow gang members to demonstrate proper respect. The Latin Kings is the world's most organized Latin gang. The Latin Kings Street Gang was formed in Chicago in the 1940s. Initially, the members were mostly Puerto Rican, but today Mexicans dominate the gang. While not as brutal as many other gangs, they engage in a significant amount of money-making illegal activities, including contract killings. Unlike the other groups mentioned in this video, the Aryan Brotherhood is a gang that is a major stronghold in the federal prison system of the United States. According to the FBI, the gang's members make up less than 0.0% of the prison population, yet they account for 20% of all murders committed in prisons across the United States. The Brotherhood, also known as the Brand AB or 1-2, has been active since the 1960s, and while its origins may have some ties to Nazism, it has evolved into a genuine criminal syndicate. The AB is particularly fearsome. One of the uncompromising initiation rules is to kill captive African Americans or Hispanics. Additionally, once you're in, you can never leave. Membership in this organization numbers around 10,000 both in and out of prison, and once you're part of them, you're in for life. In fact, just last year, the brazen killing of 2 Texas prosecutors was attributed to the AB. Members of the Azteca District gang even hold influence in Juarez, Mexico, where they have over 5,000 or more members. The reason this gang is so dangerous is that they are linked to the ruthless Juarez drug cartel in Mexico. This cartel has a militant unit called La Línea, and this sub-collective often hires gangsters and thugs from Barrio Azteca to carry out their dirty work. The gang has been involved in illegal cocaine trafficking, high-profile murders, and even prison killings. They're definitely not the crowd you want to mess with. The Trinitarios is a gang that was formed in New York. The group consists mainly of Dominican immigrants and officially became active in 1989. This gang is considered one of the fastest growing in the country. They have members in all 5 boroughs of New York City and in many other states, including New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Ohio. This gang is also considered particularly brutal. In 2012, dozens of members of the Bronx chapter were arrested for involvement in 9 murders and 24 attempted murders. They're also highly active in drug trafficking, specializing in marijuana, crack cocaine, powdered cocaine, and oxycodone. The Black Guerrilla family, Black Vanguard, emerged in 1966 as a prison gang aimed at establishing dominance for African Americans in correctional facilities and resisting prison administration. Their goals and objectives can be inferred from their emblem, crossed machetes and a rifle or shotgun with the abbreviation BGF, Black Guerrilla Family, as well as tattoos, prison guards in the clutches of a black dragon against the prison tower background. Black inmates collaborated with the radical Black Panther Party, and this partnership extended to the criminal underworld. In 1989, a member of the Black Guerrilla family, Tyrone Robinson, shot and killed the widely known African-American activist Huey Percy Newton. The cause presumably was a drug-related conflict. The Black Guerrillas find themselves in conflict with another criminal group, the Mexican Mafia, or La M, created in the late 1950s by 13 Mexican bandits incarcerated together in a California prison. Seeing how quickly they asserted control over fellow inmates, the administration dispersed them to other prisons, inadvertently enabling the clan to expand its influence. Presumably, the ranks of the Mexican Mafia number up to 30,000 members, all under a single leader. Swearing a lifelong oath in blood, they commit to prioritizing the gang's interests above all else and denying its existence to outsiders. When free, they typically engage in drug trafficking and, if necessary, resort to the services of the Aryan Brotherhood for physical elimination of rivals, perhaps the most dangerous prison gang. Today, individuals from other races can be admitted to the gang, but the mandatory requirement remains unchanged: blood in, blood out. In other words, to join, one must commit a murder. The most numerous, around 60,000 criminal group in the USA is considered the Crips, although it's more accurate to talk about a kind of subculture and a conglomerate of street gangs often at odds with each other and united only by common symbolism. The Crips largely consist of African-American teenagers who dress in blue and purple clothing and wear bandanas on their heads. Another attribute is the limp. When teenagers robbed 4 Japanese women in 1971, they were described as crippled due to their limps, giving rise to the name. To join the gang, boys must commit a crime on demand, while girls must submit to an older gang member. Los Angeles is considered the capital of the Crips, where they have to compete with another African-American group, the Bloods, whose members usually dress in red and mark their territory boundaries with aerosol paint. Their specialization is drugs, robberies, and murders. Both gangs have come up with their own dances, the Crip Walk and Blood Walk, which are variations of breakdancing. In the USA, many Asian criminal groups, Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Cambodian, are cautious about expanding their activities beyond their own national diasporas. On the contrary, Latino Americans seek to expand their influence. In addition to the familiar Mexicans, the main drug suppliers, Colombians or Cubans, settling near their homeland in Florida show activity. For instance, Salvadorans. The membership of the Mara Salvatrucha gang, slang Salvadoran Wandering Ant Brigade or MS-13, according to various estimates, ranges from 50,000 to 300,000 people, of which 10,000 to 40,000 operate within the USA. Their range of activities is broad: drug trade, arms trafficking, human trafficking, robberies, extortion, contract killings, kidnappings for ransom, pimping, car theft, money laundering, and fraud. They take up to half of the profits from businesses in their controlled territories. Often Salvadoran residents in the USA are extorted for protection money, threatening harm to their remaining relatives back home. The police managed to significantly push back the Salvadoran ants in Los Angeles, prompting them to move to the East Coast, where the American nation originated. The Texas Syndicate, primarily Texas-based street and prison gang, consisting mostly of Mexican-American members. Unlike the Mexican Mafia or Nuestra Familia, the Texas Syndicate was more associated with or allied with Mexican immigrant inmates. The Texas Syndicate was founded in the Folsom State Prison in California in 1978, in direct response to the actions of other California prison gangs, particularly the Aryan Brotherhood and the Mexican Mafia, who were targeting Texas-born inmates. The Syndicate is the oldest Texas prison gang. The creation of the Texas Syndicate was initially motivated by self-defense against historic building tenders in prison. After the tenders for construction stopped due to a court decision, the Syndicate's activities turned to drug trafficking, extortion, prostitution, patronage, illegal gambling, and contract killings. Released or conditionally released members who earn money for the gang must pay a tax of 10% or 10 cents of all income to the Texas Syndicate in prison. Gang members smuggle multi-kilogram quantities of powdered cocaine, heroin and methamphetamine, as well as multi-ton quantities of marijuana from Mexico into the USA for distribution inside and outside the prison. Gang members maintain direct working relationships with collaborators and/or members of the Gulf Cartel. Members of the Syndicate are known to have committed contract killings for Los Zetas, the paramilitary wing of the Gulf Cartel. The Aryan Brotherhood. This gang was established in 1964 in San Quentin Prison, California. The group consists of white criminals. Due to its ideology centered on racism and the presence of many Latino and black gangs, this gang is considered the most ruthless and merciless. It's known that between 1975 and 1992, gang members committed 66 inmate murders, and guards were killed by them 3 times. The gang has connections with Mexican and Italian mafia. Because of their activities, the gang faced numerous problems with the state authorities and the US government in 1990s, leading to many members being transferred to high-security correctional facilities. Gang members usually join for life after completing a fairly long probationary period, about a year, which usually involves committing either murder or a serious crime. Symbols of the Brotherhood include the swastika due to neo-Nazi views, the Irish four-leaf clover, or the initials AB, which are typically tattooed on the back or wrist. Nazi rebels. This caste emerged after many members of the Aryan Brotherhood were transferred to the Pelican Bay prison or other federal prisons. The distinguishing feature of this gang is that most of the criminals come from the Antelope Valley in Southern California, and the members of their group are usually either white or European descendant Latinos. This gang is known for its sophisticated cruelty and controls various areas in California, including North Long Beach, Lancaster, Norfolk, Oildale, and others. However, the gang's name, Nazis, is not related to the ideology of Adolf Hitler. Most likely, the gang wanted to emphasize its racist nature. This group is well organized and has extensive connections with other gangs on the West Coast, including the Ku Klux Klan. Florence 13 closely collaborates with the Mexican Mafia and is at odds with the 18th Street Gang. Its influence mainly extends to Los Angeles and states where rural areas prevail, such as Virginia and Iowa. Members of the criminal group are attributed to piracy, criminal conspiracy, drug trafficking, and murders. In August 2013, 30 members of Florence 13 were charged with extortion and a series of drug-related crimes. At that time, the Los Angeles Times reported that the gang presumably controlled the Los Angeles County and provided protection for gambling and narcotics business. The Trinitarios gang recruits American children starting from school. Formed in the 1980s within prison walls, the Trinitarios gang, known for its particular cruelty, quickly spread its influence onto city streets and now controls all 5 boroughs of New York City and at least 10 states. The Trinitarios, whose members are mainly immigrants from the Dominican Republic, compete with African-American gangs such as the Bloods, Crips, and Dominicans Don't Play. The criminal group is also known for recruiting high school seniors across New York and New Jersey. In December 2012, dozens of Trinitarios gang members from the Bronx were charged with 9 murders and 24 attempted murders. What you've just learned is a reason not to venture into any remote areas of any unfamiliar American city. And even though the code of virtually every gang states that tourists and civilians are strictly off-limits, this code is occasionally violated. Don't forget to express your emotions, leave comments, give likes and share with your friends.